Good morning, everybody. This is Rachelle with Grief Recovery with Rachelle. Special guest, my husband today, Wes Jones. We wanted to come to you because we've had, I don't know, we've had a regular marriage that's had a lot of trouble and hardship. And recently, my husband has really taken to grief recovery as well. And so I wanted to let him give his perspective of how grief recovery has been helpful to him, but not just overall in regards to marriage, because I think it's been huge in bringing our marriage back together. We just had a really hard season, and I know I'm not alone in that. So how is it? What have you noticed in grief recovery? How's it been helpful?
Well, good morning, everybody. Like you said, my name is Wes. I'm Rochelle's husband. I thought this was really appropriate to do this. She's been asking me for a long time to share what I've experienced with grief recovery. I'd say I'm a little more stubborn. You know, that's just kind of the way I am, the way I was raised. But I think it being appropriate, her birthday weekend and our 20th anniversary coming up, I had to kind of give in. So that's great. And with grief recovery, I've kind of seen how my stubbornness has let go a bit. Let's look here. I think the first time I decided to take it was when Rachelle wanted to take it for her reasons, and I thought, I'll go be a supportive husband and take the class. I can do that. So I took the class, and it was right around the time that my dad, I found out my dad had cancer, and we had kind of just rekindled our relationship, because that's another long story, but, you know, father issues, you know, stubbornness, we butt heads over the years. So I think for me, taking the class to support my wife, stubbornly enough, it took me a while to admit I actually found relief, because I did a piece of work on my dad. And the best way to explain it for me is doing a factual diagram or some sort of diagram on my life, where I actually put it on paper. You know, it wasn't talk therapy. It was more putting it on paper, put my life on paper, and I need that practical, hands-on kind of approach. I like working outside. That's kind of how I do things. So for me, seeing the results of the relief I was feeling just with my relationships with friends, with my wife, I kind of compare it to having, I guess, like a luggage cart with a ton of luggage in your cart. Each time I did a piece of work, it was like I took a piece of luggage off my cart, and I was able to actually pull the cart easier. You know, maybe like clogging a plumbing pipe. I gotta put it to these things that I understand. You know, you clear the line and then the water flows. So the way I do that in a perspective for me is I was able to connect. You know, there's not a lot of resistance when I connect with my wife. The more work I did, the more I gave into like, okay, you know, this actually works, and putting it into practice, the tools that are in the book, I found that, you know, the friction between us was less. I was able to connect. I was able to listen, be in a present moment where before, you know, I'd be there, but I'm not really there. I'm thinking about something else, and I couldn't explain why. But as I kind of let my barriers down or stubbornness, I was seeing that actually the tools that she was trying to instill and support and get me to look at actually do work. And me being a big skeptic, I said, "Wow, okay, well, she's onto something here, and I know she's really smart. So I got to give that to her." And I know she wouldn't try to get me to do something that wasn't actually going to be worth my time. So I just wanted to share, you know, how it's affected our marriage. We've gone from ups and downs, highs and lows, a lot of lows. But seeing the results, you know, hitting 20 years, thinking, you know, maybe a year ago we were like, what are we doing? This is not working. But, you know, I think I can actually attest to saying this stuff works for a relationship. For both of us doing it together, her more willingly, and me just seeing the example of her giving it a shot, I can actually say that this is probably these last few months where I've actually gotten more serious about it. That quick, our connection is really like catapulted to,
Yeah.
you know, a good place.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share, you know, because she asked me to, and I finally said I would. So
Super
let you guys know.
kind. Thank you for supporting me and doing this video with me. So you would say, though, what your number one takeaway? Ability to connect? Is that what you're
Yeah,
what I'm
ability
hearing?
to listen and actually listen and be there instead of in my head. Just kind of numb, you know. I'm there, but I'm like, I'm tired. I'm not giving my full self. So I think just our communication, it's like almost like we're just new friends.
Yeah. Thank
So
goodness for friendship. There will be more coming with this. I wanted to just kind of put this simple one out there, but thank you for coming on with me. I just wanted you to know, Valentine's is coming up, as Wes just said. We have our 20th anniversary coming up. And uh, I just, in November, didn't know if we were going to make it to our 20th anniversary, which is on Valentine's Day. So I was terrified. And I think we're in our longest stretch at this moment of just being friends, which is really, really refreshing. But I could see how it's a direct reflection from my perspective of both of us being really intensely committed to grief recovery, to putting the steps into action, because nothing happens just by chance. It happens because maybe some things happen by chance, but probably a lot of prayer or something has gone into it. But this was a relationship that's been going on for a long time that wasn't in a good place. And I know I'm not the only one, especially going into Valentine's Day. I think we kind of think of our heart and our relationships, past relationships, current relationships, in a different light as we come across Valentine's Day. So I wanted to just share my husband's perspective, and then I'd like to share more. We'll see what the feedback is, if anyone has questions, comments, concerns, but maybe you are us. You have a marriage that you're making it through the days and you're making it through the years, but you're not really connected to each other, and there's no obvious, oh, that's it, or that's it. So I just encourage you to maybe think about grief recovery for your marriage. I do work with couples. Which we can talk about how that all works a little bit later. You can call, text, email me, comment on the video, whatever sounds good for you. But overall, I just wanted to get my husband's perspective of what he sees grief recovery having done in our life up to this point, and sky's the limit, right? So I just love you so much. Thank you for joining in. Call Grief Recovery Institute at or visit griefrecoverymethod.com. Visit my site at griefrecoverywithrachelle.com, or simply call me 661-400-9067. And now we have services available online, so that's another option that I'm getting put up at the moment. So I love you all. Enjoy your day. We'll talk with you next time.